People make mistakes in life, right? You could be on the radio, like me. You could be on television. It could be anything in everyday life. One thing I've never said is a homophobic slur on the radio. But that's what Reds broadcaster Thom Brennamen did in a live broadcast the other day. I want to play you the audio for you, and I want you to listen to it for yourself. Keep in mind that the slur he does use might be offensive to some. Here it is.
The fag capitals of the world. Reds Live, the pregame show presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing.
I mean, I'm laughing because it's so insane.
The guy's got a great radio voice, though.
Yeah, well,
he's got a great announcer voice.
Might not have great judgment, though.
I can't argue that, Brian.
And then, so here's the question I'm asking to the listeners out there. So he's been suspended, right? So the question to you is this: do you think he deserves to be fired? Should he ever be a broadcaster again, or do you think an apology is enough? He did apologize. My opinion is very simple on that, and that is this. I think he deserves to be fired, but I don't think he should never be allowed to be a broadcaster again. He's also does NFL games. Let him keep doing that. But if he does it again, then he should be out of the business. But I think he should be fired as the Reds play-by-play announcer. Before we take the phone calls at 702-257-5396. Again, that number, 257-5396. JD, what do you make of this?
Well, I think that we're in very, very stressful times right now with COVID-19. I think a lot of people are doing things and saying things that they normally wouldn't say under normal circumstances. And I'm pretty tired of this notion that you catch someone at their absolute worst and that moment defines their entire career or their life, in which case it would be his career. I think a suspension could be reasonable, a couple of days. I like the apology, obviously. It sounded a little disingenuous to me. I don't think that he actually thinks that. I think that apology leads me to believe that he actually believes he's going to lose his job. I think an apology is necessary in a small suspension, but he should not be fired from his job.
Okay, so I think if you do something inappropriate at your job, like swearing at somebody or calling somebody a homophobic slur, I think you deserve to be fired.
And I take it into I think you have to factor in the context. And right now, people are doing that nationwide. Like all these Karens, for example, that we have all these video of. We're catching people at their absolute worst, and then we're applying that to them. We're saying, hey, that's who you are as a human being all the time, and most of the time, I believe that's not true. I think that's an issue, and that same logic applies to this situation, in my personal opinion.
Here's my opinion. First of all, if you're going to talk about the Karens, if you call somebody openly the N-word and you're a blatant racist and you have a moment where you act that way, I think there should be accountability. If you're that horrible of a human being,
well, I think that people are just very stressed out right now.
I understand.
These aren't normal circumstances, and you're getting a lot of unnatural responses.
You got to let me finish.
And I don't think that you should hold that against them and say that is like, for example, like the woman we had a woman. We had a woman that reached out to us. And she was part of a video that we talked about. It was a Long Island gas station situation. And she said, she basically said, this was taken out of context. This isn't who I am as a human being. I have asthma. I have problems. I have physical issues. I'm very, very stressed out. And so I reacted in kind. I think that's happening all over the country right now. And people like us in the media are taking that and we're saying, wow, that's who you are as a person. And we don't know if that's true or not. That's all I'm saying, Brian. But yeah, please finish.
So when it comes to the Karens, to me, it's pretty simple, and that is this. If you do something racist or you say something racist, it doesn't have to be something you do every day. If you do it, it's horrible, it's wrong, and you deserve to be criticized for it. Don't do it. Now, as far as Brennamen is concerned, he didn't sound very stressed out to me. In fact, when he knew he was live on the air, he sounded very relaxed and fine. So
he's good at his job.
So my thought is this. Just because you are stressed out is not an excuse for a homophobic slur, and it is not an excuse to be a racist and to look down on somebody because of their race or gender. I don't feel bad for any of these Karens that have lost their jobs, and I certainly don't feel bad for this guy, Brennamen, who is probably going to lose his job. I don't feel bad for him at all. It makes me wonder, the type of things that these people say when they don't have a camera on them.
Exactly.
Or they're not at work.
You take them at their absolute worst, and you assume
We don't know if this is their
that's who
worst.
they are all the time.
Okay, so number one, we don't know if this is their worst. I'm actually saying something different. I'm saying behind closed doors, I can't imagine the disgusting things that Brennamen probably says. If he's willing to say in the workforce and use a homophobic slur, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to imagine he probably says worse when he's not in the workplace.